Why does the black man serve the white man? Why does everything the black man do benefit the white man? Why does the black man say freedom is doing what I want to do? And why is it that everything he wants to do enriches the European?
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Peace, family. The title of this video is called Bitch Ass Nigga versus Nationalist Ideology. What made me think of this title is I was just thinking about, just in general, how bitch ass niggas are, they just push back so heavily against nationalist ideology. And the simple answer is because they're bitch ass niggas. I mean, it makes sense. If you're a bitch ass nigga, why in the hell would you endorse a nationalist ideology? Because nationalists are about nationhood. Nationhood is about controlling the socio-economic and political context you exist in. That means land ownership over a piece of territory, and controlling policy on that territory. You create jobs by building up the infrastructure on the territory. So in the process of you building your society, you create jobs, blue collar jobs and white collar jobs. The hard infrastructure and blue collar jobs, the actual building and construction itself creates your blue collar working class. And then the white collar is the institutions that support those construction operations. Basically the management and administration of those structures and those systems and institutions. So the whole purpose around being a nationalist is based on wanting to control over your socioeconomic and political context. The ideology of a bitch ass nigga is leaving that control up to someone else and fighting to have equality within someone else's system. So that's why, like, being involved in the whole nationalist thing for like the amount of years that I have has allowed me to come up with counters to most of bitch ass nigga ideology. And one of the things that I always counter with when I come across a bitch ass nigga ideology is, in your perfect world, who controls the water supply? In your perfect world, who controls the roads and the highways? In your perfect world, who controls the gas pipes, the electrical grids, the electricity? Who controls the transportation system? Who controls the waste management system? Who cleans up after a hurricane or after a snowstorm and stuff like that? Who controls those systems? And in bitch ass nigga ideology, the white man does. But people want to pretend, they want to pretend as if that ideology is the practical ideology, but mine's is, fairy dust and unicorns. So in other words, we've totally flipped things upside down, wanting to control our own reality, wanting to have socioeconomic and political control over our own reality is fairy dust and unicorns. But being somebody else's bitch, that's what a real man is. If you're a real black man, you have to endorse a bitch ass nigga ideology in order for people to accept you and like you and feel that you are woke or feel that you are black or that you're really for the people. They flip things completely upside down. And the sad part about it is, on a national level and even on an international level, name the people that's black, that's pushing for black people, and I'm going to be specific so that people won't try to straw man me. Diaspora Africans, people that were victims of the transatlantic slave trade. Name the people that's pushing for them to have an Israel for themselves, their own Israel. Basically, we've been scattered all over the fucking planet due to the transatlantic slave trade. What was stolen from us was our nationhood. So, if you say that you support the diaspora African in any way, shape, or form, if you say that you're an ally, be it black, white, or yellow, green, and in between, then you should be supporting a nation state for diaspora Africans on the continent that they got snatched from. If you're not doing that, then what are you? What do you support? You support trying to gain equality in the countries that enslaved us? In order for us to compete, or basically, I won't say compete, to participate on the world stage, to be a functional, participating neighbor on the world stage, the world neighborhood, we can't do it as second and third class citizens. We have to have a seat at the table as a landowner, not a tenant, but a landowner. So nationalists are about social, economic, and political control over the context of our collective reality, our environment. What we're saying is, ultimately, at the end of the day, once you get past and once you go through all of the repatriation and black folks going over to the continent and becoming citizens of whatever existing countries there are, at some point, diaspora Africans have to have their own particular expression on the continent. And my position is, if you say that by us having our own nation state and base of operations on the continent is divisive to the continent, then what you're saying is that we're not African. And if we're not African, can we make that official? Because if we can make that official, then that would solve a lot of problems. It'd be a whole lot of it would eliminate a lot of back and forth if we have an official stance on whether diaspora Africans, people that were victims of the transatlantic slave trade, are actually African or not. Because you can't say we're brothers and sisters and then say if we have a place in our home that we can call our own, that we're being divisive to everybody on the continent. That makes absolutely no fucking sense. But that's an aside. The point of this video is the bitch ass nigga ideology. And the bitch ass nigga ideology is an ideology that does not want socioeconomic and political empowerment. What they want is table scraps from the people that's already in charge. Let's keep it real. I mean, if somebody has a different definition for me, I would love to hear it. If you have a counter, please let me know. But if you're not trying to gain control of the land that you live on, and I'm talking about every fucking aspect of it, every aspect of it. You don't say that you want to be a man, but you don't want to have control. You can't say that. You can't pretend that you the big bad black power nigga, but yet you don't want to have control over your infrastructure. You want to give that to a white man, and then you want to fight this white man in his infrastructure for equality and table scraps. These are the type of niggas that get excited and get tingling in their pants because Donald Trump offered them a $500 billion platinum plan. That's bitch ass nigga ideology that even looks at that as something that's acceptable. That's what you going for? Table scraps? But see, a bitch ass nigga looks at 500 billion. Oh shit, 500 billion. Oh, y'all gonna turn down this butter biscuit? A real nationalist, a real man, looks at controlling a piece of territory. controlling every aspect of that territory. And guess what? You don't have to ask people to buy black if they're paying taxes to you and your government. I didn't have to worry about whether I was going, when I was in Rwanda, whether I was buying black or not. Because the whole fucking country is controlled by black people. So my question is, wait, you know what? Before I get to that, let me touch on another aspect that I think is really interesting. COVID-19. They just showed that they're developing a vaccine. They're doing tests and trials on this vaccine. But what I notice is the people, there's the Black Power Americans, the militant integrationists, the Captain America Negroes, who say they don't want a land of their own. They don't want socioeconomic and political control over a piece of territory on the continent. They want to live here in America and fight for equality with white people and every other race of people in this country. For some reason, they don't trust their government to get the vaccine. That's odd to me. Maybe it's not odd to you, but it's odd to me that a government that you love so much, the concept of you establishing another government in another land, in your homeland or where you fucking came from, where your people came from, that's unacceptable. But you love and want to clutch on and hold on to this country so fucking bad. But yet, you don't trust the government of the country that you love so much. When they introduce the vaccine, why don't you take it? What's the problem? Do you think that it's sane and rational? You want to live, all right, you want to live in a house with a motherfucker that you think is poisoning you, rather than have a house of your own where that nigga ain't even there. You got a nigga in your house that's trying to poison and kill you, but you would rather stay in the house with him and try to figure out, well, should I eat this meal? Should I not eat this meal? What's the deal? Maybe I can test it out. You're going through all of that bullshit when you can have a house of your own, a government of your own, and that way when you release a vaccine, you can trust that your government isn't trying to kill you. But you would rather go through that than actually have something of your own. That's what you call bitch ass nigga ideology. So the question is, what do you endorse? Do you endorse bitch ass nigga ideology when you try to fight for equality in someone else's land? Or do you want to have a base of operation in the land of your own? Which one is the more productive and effective ideology? Which one is the ideology of a man? And which one is the ideology of a bitch ass nigga? Please comment on this video. I know my videos don't get a whole lot of comments because for some reason people just seem to be afraid to express their opinion on my video. Can you please comment on this video and let me know which ideology seems more feasible that we should be going for? The ideology of a nationalist that wants to control their socioeconomic and political context, or the ideology of a bitch ass nigga who doesn't want to control anything but wants to bitch, moan, and complain about how they being treated in somebody else's house. BAIO Afrikstan.org. That's BAIO Afrikstan.org. If you consider yourself a man, if you consider yourself a woman, if you consider yourself somebody that really wants power, be around people of like mind. Network with people of like mind. Be around people that don't have a loser's ideology, who's not constantly crying and complaining and bitching and moaning, but instead trying to engage with each other to try to obtain power. And on that note, I'll holler at you good people later. Peace.
You can't compare to the status right here. Legendary worldwide, we can battle right here. Listen, Junior, I'ma tear back your wig. This ain't TV, but I'll show you what a fear factor is. Stop grilling me, and all that fronting is killing me. You leave me no choice but to hurt your feelings, G. About to slap rappers around and bruise the game.